So I have spent the last couple of minutes trying to find a place in this room where there isn't laundry hanging, there isn't toys everywhere, and to be honest, I can't find one. So I'm sorry for what's in the background of this, but that's the reality, really. There is washing hanging literally everywhere because norovirus hit this house. Well, actually, to be honest, it only hit him, Barney, bless him. And fingers crossed, the rest of us have managed to escape it somehow. But everything went in the wash. So all his sleeping bags, all the sheets. We ran out of sheets. It was hectic. It was hectic. But here we are, one day later, and he has bounced back, honestly, like a different child. So fingers crossed we're through it. But you guys have sent in loads of questions, and I thought I would do a little update about the pregnancy. So I am 22 weeks today, which is madness. I'll show you a little bump update. It's coming along. It's getting there. It definitely feels bigger some days than others, and in the evening for sure it feels bigger. But the big news, if you haven't seen on Instagram, if you don't follow me on there, make sure you do, because I do a lot more regular updates. But we found out we're having a girl. I'm still like, can't quite believe it, because obviously we've got 2 boys. I just assumed we'd have another boy, but this pregnancy has been really different. Like, one of the questions that came in actually was, what are the differences in the pregnancies for a girl and a boy, if there are any? And there are loads. For me anyway, this has been worlds apart from the boys' pregnancies. So I'm 22 weeks. Oh no! Did I fix it? So I'm 22 weeks and I'm still getting days where I feel really nauseous, or more like half days, which is bonkers to me, because with the boys, by 12 weeks, the sickness was absolutely gone, and I didn't really have it that badly. Now I can compare the two. At the time, I think I probably thought it was bad, but no. Compared to this one, I had a breezy first half of the pregnancy with the boys, and yeah, this little girl is causing quite the drama in there. So the difference is, in the first trimester, I felt sick all day, no matter what I did or what I ate. Whereas this time, just now, this morning I felt quite sick, and I've had some crackers and different things, and actually I feel better now. So I can eat it away, which is the difference. So I'm doing a lot of snacking, like a lot. Basically, not letting myself go hungry, because that's when we get into trouble, and that's when the sickness starts. So that is one thing. The other thing is I have just started feeling movement. So 21 weeks, and it's still not very much. So that is the similarity. All 3 of them have been late kickers. Even though when I've had the scan, they're like somersaulting in there. And my placenta's on the front, so that probably is the answer for that. But yeah, I'm starting to feel her move. I can't get over saying her. I can't say it naturally. What's going on back there? But yeah, I'm starting to feel her move a little bit more now. I feel really sick when I lie down, and I did with Barney later in the pregnancy. I felt very dizzy, very sick when I was leaning back or like on the sofa. And when this started at about 18 weeks, so early. So in bed, if I'm awake, I'm feeling sick. So I have to just get to sleep as quick as possible. What's stuck? Wow. Camera. Yeah, leave it alone. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, that was carnage. Filming with kids around, sometimes cute, sometimes, often not cute. So Barney's had his lunch, he's gone down for a nap, and now, well, first, I'm going to tidy up the mess that's around me, but then I'm going to come and answer lots more of your questions, and then get rid of all this laundry. Do your houses look like this? It's honestly, I feel like yesterday I spent the entire day cleaning and doing household chores, and it still looks like this. So if anything, I'm here to provide you with a little bit of reality that All the YouTube videos you see on here with pristine, perfect houses, that's not everybody, and it's certainly not here. So let that make you feel a bit better if it might. Okay, I'm now in the peace and quiet and the comfort of my bedroom with my nice warm cup of tea. Let's get on to it. I've got all your questions here. We have covered the differences between the girl and boy pregnancy, but the thing that I forgot to mention was my skin. My skin is generally clear. I don't usually have a problem with my skin, but I have had lots more little spots and things breaking out here and there, much drier skin, like real patches of eczema, like under my elbows and things like that, which I never have had before, so that was interesting. And oh yeah, the bump is higher. So before now, with the 2 boys, there was absolutely no way I could do any running, even jogging. I would just feel it in my pelvis straight away, from really early on. Whereas this time, I'm not going for runs because I'm not really into running that much. So actually, I'm very happy to not do that. But the other day I was walking and I ran for a few minutes or a few seconds even, playing football with the boys and stuff. And I don't feel it down there at all. She's much higher up, which means that I'm also getting a lot of breathlessness, which I thought was a bit weird since like the bump's not that big yet. But if she's sitting higher up, that makes a lot more sense. And when I had my scan, her head was right up by my ribs, and I was like, what? The bump doesn't even like go up there yet, but she's up there. So yeah, the bump is higher, which is very interesting. Yeah, I know there's so many old wives' tales, but for me, the girl pregnancy has been very, very different so far. Anyway, right. Okay, so expectations or feelings about 3 kids in 3+ years. I'm in the same boat and very apprehensive. I have to say, when I think about it too much, which I try not to do, it is quite nerve-wracking. And I think the nerve-wracking part for me is probably a selfish one. It's that I don't want to lose myself to motherhood again. And I feel like in my second birth, with a second newborn, I've really found it quite intense, and I just stopped doing stuff for myself, which I think is really normal in the first 6 months or whatever of having a newborn. You have to just accept that like life is all about the baby. But it took me a really long time to like carve out time for me again, and it really got to me. I was feeling really low about it. So this time I'm just putting things into place. I haven't yet, but I will be, so that I can do those things a bit earlier, I think. So yeah, the nerve-wracking thing about having 3 is like, how am I going to do anything that's not being a mum? And I think I'll just figure that out. The other thing is logistics. I'm nervous about how do I do a school run and a nursery drop-off with 3 of them and things like that. So I think it's one of those things that we'll just figure it out when we get there. But I am really excited to have 3. That's my main thing is excitement. I really am excited to have 3 because the boys get on so well. They're both really quite excited about a baby. Barney is 21 months now, and he's holding on to his little doll all the time. I don't think he really gets what's coming, but he loves to point out babies in pictures and things like that. So I'm really excited for them to have a sibling. I think it would be lovely for them. I saw something online the other day that said having children close in age isn't for you, it's for them, and that really has stuck with me. I think it'll be really special for them growing up together and going forward. I think it'll be just lovely. Okay, so how do you feel about going back to the broken nights and the sleep deprivation? Well, I'm not excited about it, I have to say, but we've had some bits and bobs happen in the last 6 months that meant that we haven't got that many solid night sleeps anyway. Barney went through a random sleep regression at one stage. Alfie went into his big bed. There's been lots of things that have disturbed their sleep, and so I feel like we're just used to it now. And the real newborn sleep deprivation, I weirdly feel like actually that bit is a bit easier, because at the beginning you know that you're not going to get a full night's sleep, so actually it's not disappointing or frustrating as such because you are ready for it. Whereas when the adrenaline wears off at like 4 months, you're just like, still no sleep, oh my God. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not looking forward to it, but that's what happens when you have a baby. I think we're very much more realistic with our expectations now. When Alfie was born, from like 12 weeks, I was like, gosh, maybe tonight's the night he'll sleep through, maybe tonight's the night. And I set my expectations so high and so wrong that it felt really disappointing and disheartening. Whereas now I'm like, well, as long as it's before a year, that'd be great. So yeah, not looking forward to it, but I'm ready for it. How do you deal with the inevitable "you finally got your girl" comments? It's interesting. I made quite a point about saying I really don't like people saying, "Are you hoping for a girl?" when we didn't know the gender yet, and you know, I hope you get a girl, because I was like, it's not that everybody wants a girl. We were kind of happy either way, and I have to say, I'm really happy that we're having a girl because it's nice to experience both. But having 2 boys has been so special and so wonderful that if we were to have a third boy, I think it would just be exactly as wonderful as that. And they're so different that it was just winding me up, people putting that pressure on me when we didn't know yet. And it was like, I hope you get a girl, because I was thinking, what, are you going to be disappointed for me if I have a boy? Like, why does it matter to you so much, stranger on the internet that I don't know? So I haven't got too many of those comments. I've had a lot of messages from people who've got 2 boys and a girl. They're like, oh, it's lovely, you'll love it so much. But there are so many people I know that have 3 boys or 3 girls, and they love it just as much. So yeah, I haven't had too many of those comments, I think, because I made my point quite clear early on. And I hate being, I don't want to be grumpy, and you know, when people say that, they're not trying to be mean, but it just wound me up a little bit, and I know that I'm not alone in that. So yeah, I am really excited that we're having a girl. I went into a girls section the other day in a clothes shop, and I was like, oh my god, all this pink and flowery stuff, I'm just not used to it. I'm used to the boys' clothes and the dungarees and the cars and the dinosaurs. So it's going to be really interesting and really fun to just add in a different mix into the family. Have you discussed name options now that you know the gender? Well, it's really interesting, because if you have followed me for a while, you'll know that we sadly miscarried 4 times before Alfie. And so for each of those pregnancies, especially early on, the first 2, we talked about names immediately. We were so excited, talked about names immediately, and really early on loved 2 girls' names that we both loved, which is like, oh my god, we both like them, great. And for every pregnancy since, we've gone, yeah, we still like those 2 names. So if it's a girl, we like those names. The boys' names came and went, and we found that much more difficult to find a boy's name. So in that sense, I'm glad we're having a girl, because we would be screwed. But we are still really liking those 2 names. So we haven't really discussed anything else, I think, because we feel like we've got those names in the bank. Like, if we need to, we just use those names. But, or one of those names. But we do need to go and look at some lists of names and things, just to check there isn't any ones that we've missed that actually might be on our top 5 or whatever. But so far we've got 2 that we really like. And you know what? They're both like first names. I don't think we'd have either of them as a middle name. So there comes the decision, right? Which one will we go for? But yeah, we haven't really got into that yet. And even with the boys in the hospital when I was giving birth, we were still like, oh, I'm just not sure. It's such a big decision, isn't it? I find it really exciting when you're not pregnant to talk about names. And then when you are, you're like, oh God, so stressful. Which one should we choose? Yeah, it's a big decision. So we haven't decided, but we've got some on the short list. Have you found a lip balm to help dry lips? Yeah, I've had really dry lips this pregnancy. And in fact, in all my pregnancies, I've had dry lips. So this, right by my bedside table, can you see? There we go, Carmex is really great. And also I've just been finding normal Vaseline. The other thing is, after I had the boys, I had that, Lansinoh, purple tube of nipple cream, nipple balm, and everyone told me use that as lip balm, it's so good for your lips. And they're right, it is really, really good, that one. And then you've got the tube ready for when you have your baby as well. I just need to get some. Thanks for the reminder. Lansinoh, I'll tag it below because I can't remember exactly the name, but it sounds something like that, and it's really good for your lips. Have we bought anything? Well, apart from a token little girl's outfit, 3 little girls' outfits we've bought, just because it's so novel and so fun to be in a different aisle. Apart from that, we have bought nothing. What I'm going to do, and I'm really feeling the urge to nest this time so early. I don't know whether it's because it's January as well and people get that urge to sort of clear out in January as well, but I'm desperate to get in the attic, get all those bags of clothes down, and go through them. Like, are there some definitely boys' clothes that she won't wear? Can we give them to charity, give them to friends? Because we're not absolutely certain that 3 is the final number, but I think we're pretty much certain. And I don't want all these clothes just sitting in our attic when other people could be using them. There's some lovely pieces that I really want other kids to wear. So I'm going to go through all of those things. And we didn't know the gender with the boys, so all the newborn stuff is gender neutral anyway. It's all white and grey and yeah, perfect. So we will add a couple of bits here and there, but I suspect in terms of clothes, it'll be more later on that we buy girl specific stuff. But she's going to be wearing a lot of hand-me-downs, let me tell you that. And then we've got the cot, we've got the crib, we've got the bouncer, we've got the carrier, all those things we've got. The thing we do need to buy is a high chair. We have the Stocker Trip Trap chair, which is expensive, but it lasts the whole of their childhood. So the boys still use theirs every single meal time. So we need another one of those. But apart from that, that's the only actual thing we need to buy. So feels like, you know, at this stage with the boys, it was like, right, we've got to get ourselves organised. But we don't really this time. The thing we do need to do, and this is a question that's come in lots, and I did answer it in the last video, and the answer today is the same really, that I don't know, is the car. The car situation. So I've been told by a lot of people that there are car safety centres. There's like 2 or 3 in the south of the UK. So I need to find out where they are, because apparently you go along and they look at your car, they look at your setup, look at your kids' ages, and then you can test out car seats there, see what fits, and I think you can even buy them from them. So we need to figure that out. So I don't have an answer for you, and that's something that's like looming over me, because it's such a boring thing to sort out, isn't it? It's not the fun buying the clothes and stuff. It's very boring, but we do need to sort it out for sure. And then the last question I think we'll tackle today, which came in quite a lot, is exercise. So what are you doing for exercise? Now, I mentioned before that I've been climbing through tunnels and going to soft play, and to be honest, we should count that as exercise because it's hard blooming work. And I often find myself feeling quite sick afterwards, and I think it's because I've overexerted myself. But I have been getting back into my weight training, my strength training, which I love. It makes me feel so good, so full of endorphins and empowered and just great afterwards. I get disheartened sometimes because I get overexcited in the warm-up when I'm feeling good, and then I start to feel dizzy or sick or anything like that, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm desperate. It's at this stage in both the last pregnancies where I started to look back at videos of me like lifting really heavy weights and doing things like that and thinking, oh, I can't wait to do that again. So I'm sticking with it. I'm trying to stay strong because I know that helps with the pregnancy. I'm doing swimming once a week and weight training twice a week, and then I'm filming for my bumps and burpees course. So I'm staying as active as I can, which means I'm eating quite a lot, because I know that if my energy balance is out, as in I'm burning more than I'm eating, 1, it's not good for the baby, and 2, I start to feel really rubbish. So I've been making sure I've got lots of snacks to hand. Things like fruit with nut butter on, that's a really good one, oat bars, and then biscuits and all those things that, you know, you don't think personal trainers eat. We eat a lot of. Crackers, rice cake, like salt and vinegar rice cakes, things that have a really strong flavour have been really good for me. And basically, my tummy is never empty, because that is the beginning of the end for me. Anyway, so let me do a proper bump update for you. Here we go. Here is the 22-week bump, and I found out this morning that she is the size of a butternut squash. Alfie loves to know each week what vegetable, animal it's like. It also says it's the size of a barn owl. I mean, Sometimes these things get it really wrong, don't they? Because I literally cannot fit a barn owl in this bump right now. And they come in all different sizes, I'm sure, but that feels a bit crazy. It says that she is between 29 and 30. 29 and 32 centimetres long. It feels crazy. It feels crazy that like time is going so quickly. Anyway, it's January now. She's due in May, so time is ticking. And I feel like as soon as Christmas is over, they're starting to advertise Easter eggs in the shops. And I'm like, no, don't do that, because once Easter's here, she comes like 6 weeks later. So feels a bit mad. I'm excited and a bit like, slow down, I'm not ready yet. Mentally not ready yet. Anyway, thank you for sending in those questions. Any that you've forgotten to ask, always pop them below, or come and get me on Instagram and I shall answer them for you. But I will see you very, very soon. I'm about to go and wake Barney up. Peace is over. Go and get Alfie from preschool. Peace will be really over then. And then I'll chill when it comes to bedtime. Life of a third pregnancy. It's mad. See you later.